Come, whoever you are welcome here. No matter your age, your size, the color of your eyes, your hair, your skin, you are welcome here. No matter how you came here, if you came alone or with others, you are welcome here. No matter who you love or how you speak or whatever your abilities, you are welcome here. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears in your eyes, you are welcome here. If you come with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands, then you are indeed welcome here.
To the First Unitarian Universalist Church of New Orleans, a congregation of liberal faith gathered in love since 1833. If you are a visitor, we'd like for you to raise your hand so that we can greet you. We have any out yet? So at this point, I'm going to ask you to shut that door. And I'm just going to tell people that when the door shuts, it disappears. But there is still a door there, and if you need to, there's a restroom that way and that way. And it's kind of like a Nancy Drew mystery. There's one over there, too. But you'd have to get by Jefferson for that. As a lay-led congregation, we invite you ministers, other religious professionals, leaders from social justice organizations, and our own members to be voices of hope, courage, and spiritual or intellectual transformation from our pulpit. This morning, we celebrate our water communion, which is our in-gathering service, as we do every year the first Sunday after Labor Day. Our Director of Religious Exploration, Sivani, Gelfand, and I will lead the service. I probably didn't mention that I am Beverly Rainbolt, and my pronouns are she, her, and y'all. So, providing our music today for the last time until he comes back to visit is Jefferson Turner. He's played for us all summer, and we have a little Jefferson, if you would turn around just for a second, step off this step and fall. But we have a thank you We have enjoyed you being here. We know we're going to see you again. He's already promised he'll be outstanding. So, because we have hired a music director. Dwayne White. And Dwayne will be at the piano next Sunday, and everybody can rush up and tell him who you are. Okay? With that, I'll ask you to stand as you are willing, and rise as you are willing and able, and read with me our call to awareness and amends, which is, you can find on the back cover of the Faith Hymnal. And I will read the plain font if you'll respond with the italicized font. We gather today at a crossroads.
On land the Choctaw call Wabansha,
A place of many tongues.
a place we call home.
But we are newcomers to this land.
While native peoples are of this land, Hutto and the Natchez, the Choctaw, Chitimacha, and Homa, Tunica, Biloxi, the Hakot, and more.
Know that we gather
On land that was stolen,
the spoils of colonialism and broken treaties,
of forced removal and genocide.
acknowledging this history is just the first step.
We must set ourselves to the task of repair.
Where we have harmed,
We seek to give.
where we have taken,
We seek to give.
where we have disparaged,
We seek to honor.
just as the flame of our chalice,
Lights our way to love and community.
we add life-giving water to earth.
Through all lands, native roots, and to nurture solidarity.
Only when we strive to make amends,
To reaffirm the inherent worth and dignity of each person.
Please remain risen for our chalice lighting, which can be found in your order of worship. Welcome to read it. We light this chalice as a symbol of reunion. We reunite in this sanctuary to share the flow of our hearts with one another, to gather together in ritual, to celebrate our fountain counts of joy, to hold each other through storms of grief, to guide one another through practice of transformation, to rest together on palms of stillness. Together we honor the spirit of water, its many phases, and its life-giving essence. Please join me in singing Spirit of Life. It is number 123, or you can find the lyrics to the song in English and in Spanish on the inside cover of your grade.
You may be seated. Please be seated. The water communion was first celebrated in the 1980 Unitarian Universalist Women and Religion Convocation, which marked the start of a long-term project to make sure women's voices were heard and women's experience was known in our worship and congregational life. The first major accomplishment between 1983 to 1985 was to recast the Unitarian Universalist principles into inclusive language. The next was our current hymnal, Singing the Living Tradition, published a decade later. Around the turn of the 21st century, a majority, just over half, of our ministers were women. Our congregation's acceptance and willingness to call women clergy was another celebrated milestone. The first water communion symbolically described how small groups from around the continent, more than 300 in all, came together to share ideas and draw strength from one another, and would return home stronger to share what they had learned. 8 women were asked to bring water for the ritual. It came from a stream near the conference site in Michigan, from the desert in Albuquerque, from a mountain lake in upstate New York, from a river in Winnipeg, and from the rain in Maryland, from the mouth of the Mississippi, and from the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. These places were named and the water combined in one bowl. Then these 8 women each took back some water from the bowl to carry back home with them, symbolizing the exchange of encouragement and ideas the congregation would produce. It set a tone of sharing and encouragement for the conference. This water ritual was widely adopted in our congregations and adapted to mark the regathering of the faith community for the start of the fall programs after Labor Day. A congregation is like a river fed from the many streams of our lives. We each bring talents, passions, and stories, as well as questions, needs, and longings. We open ourselves to the spirit of this faith, willing to be transformed. We gather in this community of faith to encourage and support one another so that each of us may become more whole and more our best selves. In this spirit, we renew our commitment to our faith, to one another, and to our shared vision and mission here in New Orleans. Come, let us worship together. With that, we will, if you will, rise as you're willing and able, and we will sing our opening hymn, number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are.
The summer season can be full of adventure, or rest, or reflection. And for some of us, it's actually not much different practically than any other season, except much hotter. This ritual marks the beginning of the church liturgical year and a time of reunion and regathering. When we reunite, it is customary to share about where we have been, what's new, and how we have changed. To enrich our ingathering with one another, we will reflect on the emotions, lessons, and changes we experienced this summer. There are 3 questions that I will invite you to ponder, and I would like you to share your answers to each question with a different person. The questions are on an insert in your part of worship. Maybe you've seen them already, maybe you haven't. But I'm going to read them aloud now and give you the briefest moment to reflect on them before we begin the activity. Also, now you have a visual in case you need that as a reminder. First question. What is something that moved you this summer? What is something that moved you this summer? Question 2. What is something you learned this summer? What is something you learned this summer? Question 3. What is something you let go of or changed this summer? What is something you let go of or changed this summer? So, those who feel comfortable getting up and moving around the room, I encourage you to do so, so you have a variety of people to choose from. But if you would like to remain seated, that's also totally welcome, and you can just speak and take turns with the people that are nearest to you. You're only going to have a few minutes with each person, and just a reminder, you're going to do 1 question with each person, and then I'll ring the singing bowl, just how I rang the same bell I rang at the beginning and opening of the service. I'll ring the singing bowl, and that'll indicate that it's time for you to move to the next person and do the next question. Everybody ready? Okay. Now, please find your first partner. Together, you will answer the first question. What is something that moved you this summer?
A new partner is yet Jefferson be up here without a partner?
Jefferson needs a partner.
Need a partner for Jefferson.
of your summer and to feel encouraged to share with each other about your inner journey. For it is in these simple reflections that we learn who we have become. Let us now take a few deep breaths together as we settle into a time of stillness. In and out. Another in and out. One more. In. After the prayer, we will enter into a shared silence, which you can use for meditation or the prayers of your heart. We will open the silence by singing Voice Still and Small. Our prayer today is a poem by Jen Cooper. It is a call both to come home to community and also to come home to the self, to your own presence, to your own soul. It is called Please Come Home. Please come home. Please come home. Find the place where your feet know where to walk and follow your own trail home. Please come home. Please come home into your own body, your own vessel, your own earth. Please come home into each and every cell and fully into the space that surrounds you. Please come home. Please come home to trusting yourself and your instincts and your ways and your knowings and even the particular quirks of your personality. Please come home. Please come home, and once you are firmly there, please stay home a while and come into a deep rest within. Please treasure your home. Please love and embrace your home. Please get a deep, deep sense of what it's like to truly be home. Please come home. Please come home. And when you're really, really ready, and when there's a detectable urge on the out-breath, then please come out. Please come home and please come forward. Please express who you are to us. Please trust us to see you and hear you and touch you and recognize you as best we can. Please come home. Please come home and let us know all the nooks and crannies that are calling to be seen. Please come home and let us know the more that there is that wants to come out. Please come home. Please come home, for you belong here now. You belong among us. Please inhabit your place fully so we can learn from you and your voice and your ways and your presence. Please come home. Please come home, and when you feel yourself home, please welcome us too. For we too forget that we belong and we are welcome, and that we are called to fully express who we are. Please come home. Please come home, you and you and you and me. Please come home. Please come home. Thank you, Earth, for welcoming us. And thank you, touch of eyes and ears and skin, touch of love, for welcoming us. May we wake up and remember who we truly are. Please come home. Please come home. Please come home.
the water communion? Okay, all
Yeah.
right. Both our names are by it.
Share.
Here we go, okay? Okay, I'm on board now. The water communion gives us a way to reflect on where we are in our lives. Which of our lives' perennial moments, its tides, its droughts, its cloudbursts we are in, individually and collectively, and how we are watered, parched, carved, and formed by them. We'll combine waters in wordless ritual, waters brought from afar or will pour from these pitchers marked symbolically, which is ascendant in our lives, the storm, the rush, the stillness, or the shining. Let us enter into silence together to reflect on our currents we are most aware of in our lives, here and now. Are they storm waters of grief and loss, rushing waters of change and transition, still waters of rest and renewal, shining waters of joy and brightness? Are you feeling more like a river flowing or a vessel rising from these waters? So let us take this time to sound our depths. Now come forward as I name the form that ascends for you. And this is our first time in this space. It would probably be better if, just, yeah, so that way over here. Yeah, so go back to the back and come down the center aisle. Let's try it that way and then go back out the outer aisles. Does that make sense? So we'll start with the storm waters of grief and loss. The rushing waters of change and transition. the shining waters of joy and happiness. If you're feeling it, dance. Now, if you would join me in our water blessing, in blessing our water. If the words are on the back of your order of worship. And again, I'll read the plain font if you'll respond with the italicized content. The waters are still.
When we affirm the interconnectedness of people everywhere, express our commitment to the power and possibility of this community, and our devotion to life and to serve her.
The waters rush.
When we name our imagination and our creativity, our power to unveil our old ways of thinking and create new visions.
The waters shine.
When we gain our ability to rise up and move forth, feel our empowerment, call forth our power to question and to doubt, and explore and understand ourselves and the world around us.
And when the waters storm,
We concentrate our energy and loyalty to signify that we face ourselves, the wishes in our hearts, the thoughts in our minds, and the work of our hands, as service to something larger than ourselves, that is ultimate value. So may it be.
This summer, the General Assembly of the UUA passed the Solidarity with Palestinians Action of Immediate Witness, calling for an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza. To help bring this witness into our churches, the UUs for Justice in the Middle East designed this prayerful ritual called Empty Cups for Gaza. You were invited last week and this morning to decorate a cup with symbols of Palestine, which you will soon be invited to bring forth to the altar. If you arrived late and didn't get a chance to decorate a cup yourself, but would like to participate in this ritual, there are some pre-decorated cups at the back of the service under the Palestine sign, and you're welcome to take one of those. UUs across the country are participating in this prayerful witness in recognition and solidarity with the 2 million Palestinians in Gaza who were denied potable water by Israel, a war crime that is enabled by the United States. These people are dying of starvation, thirst, preventable disease, and weapons of war. We are asked to not look away. We just participated in an annual ritual that fills the cup of our congregation literally and metaphorically. It is a symbol of our covenant to be in community and solidarity with one another. In a moment, you can come up one at a time and pour the missing water from your empty cup to Gaza into the bowl. And then please place your cup on one of the papias on either side of the water. This is to bring our awareness to the suffering caused to the people of Palestine as they are denied drinking water, basic human rights, and their dignity. May we all hold an awareness of their reality in our minds and a prayer of hope and justice in our hearts as we participate in this silent and prayerful witness.
this point, it is time, our usual time for our offering. And at this morning, as many UU churches across the nation are also doing, we will direct our offering to the children and families of Gaza enduring inhumane conditions. You can place your offering in the collection plate or go to the GazaSoupKitchen.org, where your contribution of $5 can provide a hot meal for desperate families. And that website is listed in the order of service. Oh, and sorry, we have, where should go? Okay. Our offertory musician this morning is our very own Journey Connor, who's getting her instrument together at the back. So we'll be patient. Just gotta play it. Let us receive the offering with gratitude by saying together the words in your order of worship. This gift from the abundance of my life blesses me, our ministries, and the world. Giving in the offering plate and pledging are part of how we steward this congregation. There are countless other ways to serve and build community and share our love with the rest of the city. There are a few opportunities coming up. You can put your smartphone on the announcements QR code and find out what some of them are. One is there are several postcard writing parties going on at CCUU and here. Our next one is on the 22nd. That's being facilitated by the Gillespie Center Memorial Community Breakfast. And while I am speaking of the Gillespie Center Memorial Community Breakfast, a person who has led it for oh so many years, Brad Ott, and who has been a friend of this church for about 40 years, signed the membership book last week. And I want you to all know that, because being a member is also a way to steward. And I think Katie has a spotlight announcement.
I do. So some of you may have heard about this already, but when I asked Beverly if she would do the service with me, because we usually do it together, she's like, yeah, well, I didn't sign up because it's me and Michael's 40th wedding anniversary that day. So Eric pitched in and got me some flowers and a gift card to a restaurant on Chick-fil-A, plus a little extra. So congratulations. If you didn't get to sign the card, you can go up Beverly to sign. But congratulations, Michael and Beverly.
Thank you. Now Michael doesn't have to buy flowers.
That's what I was thinking. You're welcome, Michael.
Okay. If you will stand with me in body and spirit and join in our chalice extinguishing, which is also in your order of worship. We extinguish this flame,
but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
And remain as you are for our closing hymn, which I did not write down. Blue Boat Home, of course it is.
1064, I think. Yep, 1064.
Water is sacred. Water is life.
Water is our source of joy as small children, laughing and dancing in sprinklers and ocean waves. We celebrate the joy and bliss of our innocence.
Water is sacred. Water is life.
Water is our release through tears of loss and grief.
Water is sacred. Water is life.
From the wells and springs beneath the earth, water bursts forth as the holiest offering to quench the thirst of our bodies and souls.
Water is sacred. Water is life.
Water is the composition of our bodies, the symphony of our blood and tears.
Water is sacred. Water is life.
Water is our teacher. Water is the original healer, the original medicine.
Water is sacred. Water is life. We are water.
Please now turn and greet your neighbor with a sign of peace.
And coffee in the fellowship hall behind the secret door. Down the hall.